quest to curb the menace of insecurity in Zamfara State, the governor, Bello Matawale, has ordered the closure of filling stations and a bakery in Gusau and Safi local government areas of the states. The order came after security forces arrested 4 suspects for allegedly supplying petrol and bread to bandits. Meanwhile, farmers in the northwest states have lamented cases of willful burning of farms produced by bandits. The farmers said the bandits are doing that to hurt them, saying they are becoming more and more helpless by the day. Sam, I am aware of the desperation, to cut these people. Some people benefit from the economy of this whole thing. Yeah. In the sense that they have people that supply them alcohol, they have people that supply them aphrodisiac, people that supply them drugs, people that supply them even food. So if you can cut that chain, they become more desperate. At a point in time, we were told somewhere in Kebbi State that a bag of rice could have, no, I think in Katsina State, at custom, they were actually exchanging the bag of rice with bandits to get abductors out.
It's an act of desperation. You already know that these guys are controlling territories and managing those territories. So they need to get items in to sustain, daily living, because government is doing all they can to ensure that they starve them of these things, not just money, but also food items, which oftentimes is a strategy to prosecute, war. But the sad thing we have, in Zamfara, is that it's not just the epicenter. We have total anarchy in that place. The entire 14 local government areas, you have acts of banditry going on, real time. The entire Zamfara state. It's not like some other states in the northwest where acts of banditry are going on in almost all the local governments in Zamfara. Yes, it's a total mess. And not everything that happens that you and I get to read. Just a few filter into the media space. So what we have on our hands is almost near anarchy in that place. And you can see how the government is struggling with it today. We place a ban on supply, selling of, fuel in certain locations, or, suspend movement of bicycles or motorcycles elsewhere. It just tells you that we don't have an organized response. What is happening in Zamfara, in most states in the north, is just a containment policy. It's not about rooting them out. Can we contain them? Can we keep them far away from the centers of governance? That's what is happening. So the guys are basically running riots all over the place, collecting taxes, looting homes, harvesting people's farms. And the government appears to be helpless. And that is why, intermittently you find the government, takes one ad hoc, decision to do this. After that, if it doesn't work, you shut down the telecoms mast and all that. After some time, release it. So it's basically a containment policy, and it's not taking us anywhere. It's not taking us anywhere. There has to be a defined strategy that goes all out to root these guys, from their base. No known bandit leader has been arrested. None. Even the ones you see paraded that are mere foot soldiers who, if you look at them, you can't find the so-called money that they seem to be making from the entire, evil exercise. So we just hope that government finds the courage to move beyond containment to taking out these guys, as a matter of policy.
Taking out these guys as a matter of policy is something that we've seen that beyond Zamfara, it has gone to Katsina, it has spread to Kaduna, now the whole territories in Niger State, and something that just started like joke, it's now like spreading like wildfire, and it's becoming a kind of national threat.
It's even a national embarrassment, because if you look at how can some young ragtag boys be running riot everywhere
and holding everyone to ransom,
and holding most local governments in Zamfara.
Did you see that video of Abuja Kaduna Express Road?
Exactly.
I think I saw two versions of
yes,
the
I saw two. There's a one that was like a movie. I don't know if you saw that one that they were shooting.
They were shooting sporadically into the air.
Just some small boys.
That particular route.
some small boys who just got their hands old, got weapons, and then they've taken up communities. Look at what they are doing in Zamfara. Because you can't pay tax, what they will now do is they will come and burn your crops. You know, whatever you have, whether maize, whether soya beans, you know, some people are complaining because this is the harvest season.
Yeah.
You know, and so they are supposed to reap what they have sown. But look at, they just go there, burn down the whole farm, which is wickedness. And sometimes they go to communities, they rape women, you know. And not that, I also want to say that even most people in Zamfara, I know that it's difficult because even security agencies are supposed to play a major part. And when I mean a major part, in trying to get information and make sure they conceal the identities of those who are giving them information. Because some of these bandits are well known to people in Zamfara. So if, for instance, there's a Mr. A that they know that is a bandit, and they tell a police officer, if I tell a police officer that Mr. A is a bandit, is my life secured? That is a major problem now. That is a major problem. So if government says they want to get intelligence, the only way you can get it is through the people that are in the communities. But the people know them, but they can't say anything. So they will prefer to Israel, and then they will stay there. Whatever they can face, they will face. So government, just like Sam is saying, must look at another strategy for them to deal with these guys. What we have been seeing and parading up and down have been the small boys. The person that is beating the drum is somewhere. Those who are dancing are the ones that they are arresting. We must deal with those who are beating the drum. If not, we will keep going in circle, and then this thing will begin to see, Ayo, the thing is becoming a cancer. And if we do not cut it from the root, it's going to consume us.
At a point in time, it got to the southwest, the maiden road to the south.
Yes. Because they're practically having a field day, you know. Like I said, no serious policy to deal with the matter. You know, it's just basically trying to manage them. And some of the reports, Ayo, that we get from, you know, inside sources within the military just tells you that we don't seem to have sufficient coordination, you know. You have a situation where the military decides to take on the bandits on the particular, you know, flank. And then the adjoining states, you know, are left to, you know, to just manage the issues themselves. They are not part of that strategy to take those people out. I've had very close friends in the military say, look, sometimes you find that when there's a military activity going on in a place like Zamfara, the adjoining states are not part of it. Whereas in an ideal situation, you should have a situation where the guys are at the boundaries, are waiting for them, just in case they are escaping. So they can afford to come to the southwest or go to the north central, because the whole place, the entire place is porous.
Okay, I have Obi calling from Jalingo, that is in Taraba State. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Ayo, good evening.
Good evening.
We have one of the finest and best soldiers in this world. That many times during when we are in our 70s, like my father especially, has gone to about 3 different countries on the mission of peacekeeping. So I wonder why all these things are happening. You see, the problem is we have the strength. The Nigerian army can tackle this. The securities in this country can tackle this thing once and for all. Unless if they want us to start believing what late Abacha said, that any insecurity in this country that exceeds more than 48 hours, the government must have an hand inside. You see, I hope the people in authority are actually listening to journalists, because you guys are actually doing the best. I remember one time that the vice president was live on this channel. I hope he will actually transmit what you guys actually discussed with him to his boss, so that at least this thing will just end up once and for all. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Abi. We are reaching out, and we'll continue to reach out. They watch, and then we want to believe that they know what to do. But it's getting, it's stretching like our patience. Now, we know our boundaries. Before I can actually jolly well leave Lagos and drive to Kaduna, all from Lagos. When I get to Abuja,
it's like being on a suicide mission.
You know, before.
You know even the trip that we just made recently.
Yes.
You know the trip.
Hey, man. I still go.
You know the trip.
It was just the grace of God.
Honestly.
It was just the grace of God.
Because you will see potholes, then you see forest around you.
No suicide mission.
And so it was like, okay, fine. Let's just go. Let's just travel. And having an open mind, traveling. Let's just explore Nigeria. Let me put it that way. But in trying to see how Nigeria is beautiful, you are afraid.
One?
You know, you are just afraid because everywhere you look at is just bush. Forest, thick forest. I'm not talking about small, thick forest. And this is where these guys, they are holding sway and making money from nowhere. Because so Ayo, it's not easy. People... I think the federal government needs to sit down. Yes, there was a time I heard they wanted to do like a national summit on security. They did that. It was like more of a talk shop. They finished. And at the end of the day, the presenters, the guest speakers delivered whatever they wanted to deliver. But real action is always a big problem. You know. So what we need is for us to begin, because then it was Boko Haram. Now it is bandits. Whether we'll do another summit to look at how we can deal with these bandits, let them do it. And they have to do it fast. Another election year is coming. It will be very, very terrible. It will be terrible.
Okay, farm produce being destroyed by bandits to hurt farmers. Now, we are looking at food security here now.
Exactly.
If you don't stem this tide, it will hurt us badly.
It's already hurting us. And that's why the price of beans, the price of rice, the price of tomato is all, you know, skyrocketing. So it's clear that we've already arrived at that point where food security is threatened. People can't go to farms. Even those who manage to plant their crops can't harvest them because they are not in a position to pay tithe or pay tax to the bandits. And we're taking these things, you know, lying low. If we do a very honest survey of the impacts of this security in the country, we'll just understand. Even the minister in charge of national, defense has already owned up that Nigeria is already, you know, at the doorsteps of food insecurity.
And it's not only in the north, even in the southwest too. You know, Ondo or your, you know, those areas that they are, you know, going into full-scale farming. They can't even farm anymore. Yes, all those Ibarakwa, that is the problem. So it's something that the government needs to sit down, because by the time people are becoming hungry,
the bandits have already taken over those farmlands, taken over the forest.
Yes.
Lots of ungoverned space. And so the guys are just riding roughshod over everybody.
To paying tax before they cultivate.
And that speaks to the failure of governance.
Wow. Okay.